Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey, man, I'm great because I smell spring football in the air.
It is definitely in the air, DJ. From the ACC to the SEC, football is back in town.
Coming up in just a little bit, we have an opportunity to talk about spring practice, and not only that, we'll talk a little bit about the Columbus State Lady Cougars and the sensational season that they had. Also, we have an opportunity to chop it up a little bit about the Hawks, man, because it's getting close to playoff time.
Playoff time is coming, DJ, and still, congratulations to the Columbus State Cougars women's basketball team, 31-2. That ain't bad, player.
Hey, we'll talk about that in just a little bit and a whole lot more coming up next on Sports Visions.
It's time to save during the Nissan Year of the Truck and SUV event at Headquarter Nissan. Now, save $4,500 on new Rogue. Save $10,000 on all remaining 2016 Nissan Titan XDs. And get America's best truck warranty. Take on any job with Nissan trucks and SUVs from Headquarter Nissan.
Yes, Columbus is a Nissan town. Now it's going to be a Titan town. $10,000 off 2016 Titans.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. March Madness deal is getting down to the nitty-gritty. The Sweet 16, man, and then, of course, down to the Elite 8. And, you know, for the most part, a lot of the teams that were the top seeds, man, have been knocked off, and the brackets have been torn up for weeks.
For a couple of weeks now, DJ, you know, like you said, you know, out of the Sweet 16 goes to the 8, to the Final Four. But really one of the biggest things, and I think the biggest storyline, you know, you had the ACC to send 9 teams. They only had one left, and that's North Carolina. You know, the SEC, people always say it's a football conference. Well, they got 3 teams left. They got what? Kentucky. They got South Carolina, and you got Florida. So really, and then the Big 10, the Big 12, they got 3 teams apiece. The Big 10, Michigan, got Michigan, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin has been there every year, DJ, for like, you know, a few years. And you got Purdue, then you got Kansas, Baylor, and West Virginia. So all these teams, and then you got a few of the mid-conferences, Gonzaga, of the world, the Xaviers, the Butler.
Right.
You know, you got all these teams in there, and it's going to be a big shuffle, and we'll find out. We won't know until next week who's in the Final Four.
Yeah, you're right about that. You know, but more importantly, you know, of course, I picked, you know, Villanova to repeat, which I was wrong, and they got eliminated.
Right.
But my dark horse was UCLA. They're still in it. And, you know, I'm really proud of the SEC. Again, they have been taking the knocks from a lot of the prognosticators and experts, so-called experts, talking about, obviously, that, you know, hey, they got a ways to go to catch up with the ACC and some of the Big Ten, you know, schools. But, you know, the SEC, all they have done is produced 3 teams in this Final 16. And these teams, of course, I love it. But what South Carolina, the Gamecocks head coach, had to say about, you know, he was interviewed and talking about, hey, look, what do you think about when everybody tries to talk down on the conference? Well, you know, he said, you know how we got here? By playing other SEC teams. And again, he says, you know, that he knows that they get a bad rap, but the bottom line is there's some good basketball played in the Southeastern Conference.
Oh, no doubt about it, DJ. And, you know, really, I think we'll have a segment in the future of talking about, you know, does a SEC school, football school, does it impact your recruiting when you have a basketball team to field? You know, from the Kentuckys to the Florida to South Carolina. You know, they're all known for football, but really when you start playing basketball too, that really adds to the revenue and adds to that makeup of that university. But one team, one conference that I've really been surprised with, it's been the Pac-12. You know, the Arizona, the UCLA, the Oregon piece. And I'm like, man, they play. And then when you watch these guys, they play a faster paced game. They want to get the ball up and down the court. There's no defense at all. They want to get the ball in the basket as soon as possible. And, you know, again, you know, I said this last week, DJ, I'm still not sold on UCLA, man.
Well, you know, again, all the attention has gone to LeVar Ball, the father of the young man that's a point guard out there that everybody's talking about going to be a top lottery pick in the NBA. But, you know, outside of him, you know, I don't hear a whole lot about the UCLA basketball team. However, you know, they're in it, and they have just as much a chance to win it as anybody else.
They really do. You know, Arizona won their conference by beating UCLA, and then, you know, you start talking about Oregon, and really they play up-tempo all the way. But at the same time, you still got some great teams in there for us. The Kansas are concerned, the Kentucky piece, the North Carolina piece, and you got Gonzaga. And, you know, Gonzaga been there for the last last 4 or 5 years, they've always been in the Sweet 16. So it's going to get real interesting as we get close to the Final Four.
Absolutely. And again, this time of year, as we said, it's coming down, to the grind, to the nitty gritty. And again, after it's all said and done, everybody's attention will be turned to football.
That's
because
right.
again, with spring practice going on right now, we're going to have a chance to talk about that in just a little bit. And of course, with the upcoming draft, the NFL draft coming up, all eyes are, you get closer and closer to the summer practices, and basketball will dissipate.
Well, really, like you said, DJ, the schedule goes like this. I mean, you got spring practices, and most spring games are around April the 22nd. Then you got the NFL draft, which is going to run through the 27th through the 29th. And then basically, they're going to have OTAs here in a minute. So football is right back at it, DJ. And, Forrest, people always say, and you got all these orthopedic surgeons and doctors, and from the Dr. Andrews on, DJ, saying that the kids need a rest. So we're going to still, the NCAA is still looking at that, but it seems like there's no rest for the weary player.
No rest for the weary. All right, coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to talk to Anita Howard, the head coach of the Columbus State Lady Cougars, the Peach Belt Conference champions. And, of course, leading into their big game against Virginia Union, we had an opportunity to speak with her. She'll be coming up next.
I'm back, swimming at the gym every week. Last month, I started playing tennis again. And 4 months ago, I went hiking for the first time. I struggled with knee pain for years. Just walking upstairs was difficult. But the St. Francis Orthopedic Institute was there, from surgery through physical therapy, helping me get back to doing the things I love. Thanks, St. Francis. I'm back in motion again.
Truth be truth, the will to win will win. So intimidate your darkest fear. Revive every forgotten fantasy. Set goals you can never reach, then reach them. Count cards to fight fate stack deck. And if you want to win as much as you want to live, you're ready to reign on.
Hi, I'm Grace Carswell. I almost lost my life in a car accident due to someone else's negligence. Forrest B. Johnson and Associates held the insurance companies accountable and worked tirelessly on my behalf to make sure I got the compensation I deserve. You can trust Forrest B. Johnson and Associates. Results you can bank on.
Call Forrest B. Johnson and Associates right now. 706-223-5380.
Sports Visions, brought to you by Aflac, Express Motors, St. Francis Orthopedic Hospital, Headquarters Nissan, and Forrest B. Johnson.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. Joining me right now is Coach Anita Howard. Since we've last interviewed a couple of weeks ago, you have a new title under your belt, the Southeast Regional Championship, and now you have some more unfinished business heading up to Ohio.
Yeah, we got a lot. We've been pretty busy. So we won the Peach Belt, we won the regular season, we won the Southeast. We got 2 young ladies who made all-region, Ashley Zuzu and Alexis Carter. We got 3 young ladies who made all-region tournament. Alexis Carter, Ashley Zuzu, and actually Gabby Williams. Alexis Carter was also the region MVP.
You're basically 3 games away from bringing the national championship back here. And I know you don't think that far out. It's just one game at a time. But how do you keep your girls focused on this past week?
Just, the one game at a time. You got to take it one game at a time. You can't worry about the national championship game on the 24th, which that's our ultimate goal. But, we have to get past, 3 strong opponents. Our first one being Virginia Union, which I'm very familiar with from the CIAA conference. And so we just got to make sure that we continue to do what we've done to get us here.
So you play on Tuesday, you knock them off, you play the next night, and then you come back and the championship game is on Saturday. Talk to me about that 2 back-to-back game situation. How do you get your girls, I guess, mentally conditioned to play back-to-back games?
Luckily we have depth, so, everyone is not playing a 40-minute game for us. You got girls averaging about 20, 25 minutes max. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to go to our depth, to make sure that we have everybody fresh for the following game. But, we've done it before with the Peach Belt, with the region, and so they're kind of accustomed to this tournament-style play. And actually the national championship game is on that Friday, so we have Thursday off. which we'll use to take some rest and just kind of watch film. And that's what we've been doing, just getting ready for this Elite Eight tournament, is just kind of watching film, getting up shots, free throws. And so we haven't been going all out just yet. You know, the team has been battling the flu and some nagging injuries. So just making sure we're fresh going into this tournament.
Coach, a lot of folks out there don't realize all that's involved in the travel. You guys are going to be flying out, but talk a little bit about your itinerary and how you're able to plan this out.
Well, actually, it's pretty interesting. So tonight, we're actually going to, quote-unquote, pack the bus. So we're going to put all our luggage and equipment and stuff on the bus tonight, because we're actually going to have our own bus go up to Ohio to shuttle us around, which I think is phenomenal for Columbus to do, because that's something we're comfortable with. We're comfortable with our driver. We're comfortable with our bus. But, yeah, we'll fly out early Sunday morning. We'll leave here at 5 a.m., fly out and get into Dayton at 9:20, and then we'll drive on to Columbus. And then from there, there's so many festivities and events going on. We'll have open practice to the media. We'll have community engagement, which we're going to be doing a veterans hospital. And then we got media day with the coaches and meetings of that sort. And then it's down to business. We play Tuesday at noon against Virginia Union.
All right. I want to shift gears a little bit. More recently, you agreed to speak at our Female Athlete of the Year Awards luncheon.
Yeah.
And again, ever since I sent the presser out, man, they've been getting rave reviews and folks been following you. And of course, I think you got a whole new crew of fans that you don't even know about.
Well, that's good. I think, they deserve it. Columbus Women's Basketball is doing phenomenal things this year, and so the more the merrier. At the Southeast Regional Championship, we had 1,700 people come out and support the Lady Cougars, and so that was just a sight to see, because they deserve it. They've been playing really good basketball, and so they deserve to have not only the campus community come out, but just the community in general.
All right, Coach, I tell you what, I still say, and I spoke at the last interview a couple of weeks ago, bring back that ring.
Hey, that's the plan. 3 more games. We got 3 more games to go, and that's our plan.
All right, Lady Cougars head coach Anita Howard.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
Why do we have Aflac?
Aflac?
And Major Medical?
Major Medical, boy, yeah! I help pay the doctor. Ain't that enough for you?
There are things Major Medical doesn't do.
Aflac
Pays cash so we don't have to fret.
Something families should get.
like a safety net.
Even helps pay deductibles to cover your back with.
Learn about one-day pay at aflac.com/wrap.
Today, my dad walked me down the aisle. It seems like yesterday when he taught me how to drive. And just a few years later, he took me to college. But I remember the day my dad had a heart attack. And that almost changed everything. He needed open heart surgery. Lucky for us, we had the amazing doctors at the St. Francis Heart Hospital on our side. Because of their excellent care, he's here with me today. Thank you, St. Francis.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. Around here, it's pretty much common and known that this is football country. And spring practice has started with the SEC schools. And, of course, Georgia went at it earlier in the week. Auburn started a couple of weeks ago, and Alabama's got coming up, any day now. But the bottom line is, spring practice is now, Dale, an opportunity for these teams to really understand and focus and find out just what they have.
Really, DJ, and that's what it's for. And, barring any injuries, but those young kids that didn't get an opportunity to play last season, this is their opportunity to shine. They can come out of spring as a starter, or they'll be a surprise for the spring, and they still will be able to get a lot more playing time than what they got. So really, it's a developmental process that all the teams do, from the ACC, SEC, Pac-10, Big Ten. You got to have a spring practice, and that's when you find out what kind of team you're going to have.
Reflecting back on when we had spring practice, obviously it was an opportunity for us to get better. But I think really it's so much different now because young kids have an opportunity to sign early. The signing day is in February. The kids could enroll, a few weeks later, and then they're in spring practice, and they're still actually in their high school, their 12th grade year. But they have an opportunity to learn, and in some cases, some of them are talented enough to compete for jobs in the spring. And I think that's really the big difference now between spring practice then and now.
I mean, really, that's a good point, DJ, but really, because most of the time, if they can graduate early, they want to get there early. And I think really that is an advantage. If we could have, our senior year, leave, high school and go and enroll at the college that you're going to attend and be involved with spring practice, that's a good thing for you. But, when you start talking about a quarterback position or you're talking about a position where you're not really going to play, or whoever recruited you said, well, if you come early, you might have a chance to play. Now, that really is going to ring a bell with me, DJ, because I want to play as soon as possible. And I think really going on campus as a freshman, right out of high school, you're able to get your feet wet, you kind of get acclimated to the campus, what college life is all about, and you got a chance to play. I would love to have been able to do that, and that's some of the things that you couldn't do back in the day, that we couldn't do. They've, decreased from having 15 practices. We had like 20 practices, and I mean, it was all-out war. If you came out of the spring as a starter or balling, you definitely were going to play during the season. So they don't really have that 15 practices. Maybe 3 practices a week, DJ, or maybe 4. And that includes the spring game. So it's a lot of little differences that have been changed, but it's all about building a championship team during the spring.
It is, and again, when you talk about spring practice, they have the 15, they cut it to 15, but then not all those practices are in pads. That's another thing. They're controlling the contact too, of course, dealing with the safety issues around the game. And but from the NFL to college ball, obviously, the grind is not as serious as it used to be.
Oh, I don't know, DJ. Like you said, the grind is definitely there. I mean, I just chuckled when I heard you say they're not all in pads.
Right.
I can't imagine going to spring practice when we didn't have pads on. And that piece right there, was always a special sacrifice that you didn't get hurt during the spring. And I think really that's one reason they decreased on the practices, because you don't want to get people injured. You don't want to be out for the whole season again. But at the same time, you want to develop in a team. You want to find out if those freshmen have turned into sophomores that can play. Because really, if you're going to waste a year, you want to waste your freshman year. But, you don't want to sit the bench your sophomore year, DJ. You're trying to ball and whatever means necessary during the spring. That's what spring practice is all for.
Let's get more specific. I know in Athens that the offense is really going to be, the offensive football players are really excited because this is the first time in a long time that they've had the same offensive coordinator in back-to-back seasons. So they don't have to learn a new playbook. And again, now not only can they continue to get better at what they do, they can add on, make other adjustments, add other little twitches and hitches to make that offense even better.
Yeah, I think really they're gonna. Everywhere I read, anything I read, DJ, they're saying they're gonna change the offense. They're gonna be a little bit more wide open. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. But at the same time, DJ, you got to find some players. Regardless of what you're saying, you're gonna do on offense, on defense. The most important piece is finding some players that develop during this off season. That when they come in the spring practice, you look at them and say, oh man, this dude gonna ball right here. He might be a starter. When you can find those surprise players and those kind of players, DJ, that's what spring practice is all about, and that's what you got to find out. For the quarterback situation at Georgia, I still think that's under review right now. You got the Fromm kid coming in, and then you got running backs from everywhere.
That's what I was just going to say. You can keep saying all you want, but when you got two guys like that, they're going to probably be number one picks, second round picks in the NFL. We're talking Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. You know what? You ain't got to get too fancy.
No, you ain't got to get fancy at all. But then like I say, you got the Holyfield kid, you got the Herman kid. You got these kids that got good talent that didn't play. Some played a little bit last year, but really these guys are going to be thirsty. And I bet you, DJ, Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, I don't see them practicing and playing that much because you gotta satisfy those kids, or there's a such thing called transfer.
And when you talk about Gus Malzahn and the Auburn Tigers, man, they got a quarterback competition going on over there. And again, I know that they've been real quiet about that situation. And again, James Franklin III, it was rumored several weeks ago that they were going to possibly move him if he didn't prove to be competitive in the race. So they're being hush-hush over there, but they're out in front and they're well ahead of everybody else as far as their scheduling in practice. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that camp.
Hey man, Gus got something up on the sleeve, DJ, because really this is the last 2 years he's been having a quarterback problem, and that's all you've been hearing from over there. I guarantee you they're going to find a quarterback this time, and they're going to see what the Auburn Tigers going to be able to do.
And, of course, Alabama, they've been reloading in year after year. But then, the big thing now is that, 2 offensive coordinators gone in 1 year. And, I don't know how it's going to affect the young quarterback over there. But it's rumored to be that there will be some others that could be considered for that position.
I want to see that, DJ, because Jalen Hurts did a great job last year. I think really with the new offensive coordinator and the whole system. I know Nick ready to ball. Nick already cut some people out at the press conference, so he's ready to play, and he's really want to get back at this thing.
Well, the reason I said that because again, Lane Kiffin was his offense.
That's
that the young guy was running, and Jalen, again, another offensive coordinator, and I'm understanding that Nick is wanting to go back more to where his quarterback is going to be managing the game instead of being the playmaker that Jalen is. So that leads me to think that there is somebody else that's going to compete for this starting job.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably be competing, but, when you crank it up September the 2nd against the Florida State Seminoles up at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I think Jalen Hurts will be in there, and all those new bullets that we talk about, they still got players over there. I think they're going to open it up a little bit, but at the same time, Nick has a ball control offense. That's what they do, and they play defense. They're going to be physical. They're going to do well on special team. That's Alabama football.
And of course, what we're talking about, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. We have a young man from Harris County that's got a great shot of being their quarterback, and he's going to have a good spring.
Taquan Marshall, that's what we were talking about, and I had a good chance talking to William this weekend. And Taquan's going to be ready. I think really one of the biggest things with Taquan, I think he surprised a lot of naysayers with his passing. But, when we start talking about passing, you're talking about Paul Johnson. That's not a good mixed player. So I look for Taquan to do very well this year and get a lot more playing time.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Visions, brought to you by Cook Dental Care, Diverse Power, Crown Royal, Taylor Funeral Home, and the Hilton Garden Inn.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, come see us at Express Motors, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. Or give us a call, 334-384-9101, with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. In-house financing, the right vehicle at the right price for you. We don't want all your business, just yours. Come see us, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama, or go online, www.expressmotorspc.com.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
And welcome back to the final segment of Sports Visions. And I tell you, Dale, that it's just exciting to see what Anita Howard has been able to do in her first year. A great season. 32 victories, 3 championships. She won a regular season Peach Belt title. They won the tournament title in the Peach Belt. They won the Southeast Regional title. And you know what? They went up to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, it wasn't victorious for them. In Virginia, they just ran into a team that had a little bit more firepower. But we are proud, and she had a solid season. She's a Sports Visions Coach of the Year and several other network Coaches of the Year.
No doubt about it, DJ. And like you said, 31-2. That ain't bad at all. I think she inherited a great team, but the good thing about it, she's changed the culture, the winning culture, and she talks so much about the process. And one of the good things about the process, DJ, is that, some of those young girls, the freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors that are going to be upcoming seniors, I think they learned a lot from their loss. And I read her article about that. I think they learned a lot from the loss, and they'll be back next year.
Absolutely. And the great part about it is that Anita Howard will be our featured speaker on April the 20th at the Hilton Garden Inn, 11:30. That's a Thursday. And, of course, if you want table or sponsorship information, be sure to call me, 706-681-1136, or Dale Williams at 706-681-5192. Now, on to the Atlanta Hawks. I know that the Hawks are 5 games out of the Southeast Division behind the Washington Wizards, but they're still in pretty good position in the Eastern Conference, which, says, but I mean, by being in a good position, but can they really compete? Because at the end of the day, making the playoffs and getting knocked out in the first round, that's not what we're buying into.
No, we didn't buy into that. And, all the renovation and all the new ownership, they want a little bit more than that too, DJ. And I think at the same time, when you start talking about in the Southeast Division, you're talking about 5 games back. And then at the same time, as far as the East is concerned, you are like number 6 in that picture like that. And really, a bad road trip And you could almost get knocked down again, as we said a couple of weeks ago, 8, 9, and you don't need to be there. They still don't have a player that's bringing any spark other than Tim Hardaway Jr. So we're going to have to pray for the Hawks, man.
And the injuries to the anchor man. I mean, Paul Millsaps has been injured, and, of course, Kent Bazemore has been banged up. And those are two guys that are solid players for him down low.
Well, you got to have both of those, EJ, especially as intense as everything gets when it comes towards the playoffs, and that's going to be in probably in another month or so. The playoffs will start, and, you don't want to be one and done. Like everybody said, well, yeah, the Hawks here, they'll make the playoff, but they've one and done. No, they got to compete. And, again, the Dwight Howard piece, I can't believe Dwight Howard is a non-factor in this ball game, and really – with him coming to Atlanta, I thought he would play a whole lot better.
Yep, you and I both. And I tell you, man, we got to follow these Hawks. And, if they're going to move, they got to move now.
They got to move right now, player, because like you said, if you hadn't played your best basketball, you got to play it right now. Dwight Howard, Dennis Schroeder, Bazemore got to get well. Like you said, Millsap must get well. And then Tim Hardaway, move him into the starting lineup. Do something. You're going to have to change around some stuff because they have no spark at all.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for all the sports we have for today. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.
I'm back, swimming at the gym every week. Last month, I started playing tennis again. And 4 months ago, I went hiking for the first time. I struggled with knee pain for years. Just walking upstairs was difficult. But the St. Francis Orthopedic Institute was there, from surgery through physical therapy, helping me get back to doing the things I love. Thanks, St. Francis. I'm back in motion again.
Truth be truth. The will to win will win. So intimidate your darkest fear. Revive every forgotten fantasy. Set goals you can never reach, then reach them. Count cards to fight fate stack deck. And if you want to win as much as you want to live, you're ready to reign on.
Hi, I'm Grace Carswell. I almost lost my life in a car accident due to someone else's negligence. Forrest B. Johnson & Associates held the insurance companies accountable and worked tirelessly on my behalf to make sure I got the compensation I deserve. You can trust Forrest B. Johnson & Associates. Results you can bank on.
Call Forrest B. Johnson & Associates right now.
706-223-5380.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.